going to take a look at basic data storage in PHP now, which means storing your data in variables and how that works in PHP. And so this is going to be a web page with the title Assigning Values to Variables, and it's going to start off with a PHP section as you see here. It's going to echo setting number of apples to 1. Notice that you can echo HTML as well as straight text like this. That's going to be echoing a break HTML element, and you set the number of apples to 1 like this. This is a PHP variable. It starts with a $, and then it continues with a name, and so this is number of apples that will be stored in this variable named apples, and it's $apples is the variable, and it's important to realize and to remember that in PHP variables start with a $. So we're going to assign a value of 1 to this. This is what this statement does, is this creates the variable $apples, which we're just going to refer to as apples, the $sign being understood, and assigns a value of 1 to it. In PHP, you create variables like this. You don't need to declare them as you do in other languages such as JavaScript. All you have to do is assign a value to them. So this creates a variable named apples and assigns it a value of 1, as you see here. Okay, so now how can you refer to the number of apples, and how can you display the number of apples? Well, you can say echo, our old favorite echo statement, number of apples, colon, and then you end the quotation. You say comma, $apples, comma, quote, break statement, break HTML element, semicolon. So how does this work? This says echo number of apples, so it echoes this text back to the browser, number of apples. Then comma means there's more coming for the echo statement. $apples is the variable that stores the number of apples, and it's going to be replaced when this statement executes with the number of apples that are stored, which is 1. And then comma says there's more coming for the echo statement. You can have as many items as you want separated by commas in the echo statement, and then a break HTML statement goes next. And so that's the way it works. You can simply specify the name of the variable to be displayed, and in this case it's just $apples, and that will be replaced with the contents of the variable. So that's important to remember. In echo statements, you can display the value of variables this way by taking it with text, comma, apples, comma, so forth, break, and so on. Okay, then you can say adding 3 more apples. Now what we're going to do is we're going to increase the number of apples by 3, and that says $apples equals $apples plus 3. So that's the way to add 3 more apples. You're going to use the equal assignment operator. So you're assigning the value in apples to be apples plus 3. So apples is going to be replaced with the number of apples, and plus 3 uses the PHP plus operator to add 3 to the value currently in apples. So this side of the equals assignment operator is going to be evaluated, and the result assigns to the apples variable. So this is going to increase the number of apples by 3, because whatever is in this apples variable currently will be added 3 to, and then you end up with the result stored back in apples. So the number of apples now we're going to echo is the updated value in apples and a HTML break element like this. So you see the idea is that you can assign a value to apples, variable apples, which creates that variable, and you can change that variable by using operators, which we're going to take a look at soon, in PHP operators such as the plus operator and so forth. So, and other ones, there's a subtraction operator and so on, and then you can display the new number of apples like this, and here is the result, setting the number of apples to 1. That's just HTML, number of apples 1. That corresponds to this statement, and as you see, the variable apples was given the value 1, and displaying that variable, displaying the contents of that variable gives you a number of apples 1. Adding 3 more apples, that's just text, and then number of apples now is 4, as you see here, and that's because we added 3 to the value currently in apples and stored that new value, which is 4, in the apples variable, and displayed that number of apples, the new number of apples, in this statement like that. And so the number of apples now is 4. So you see that's the way to work with variables in PHP. You have to start them with a $sign, and you can just assign values to create them. You can use operators, PHP operators as well, like this. We're going to take a look at the operators soon, and that's a good overview of just working with and creating simple variables in PHP.